Okay, future language teachers, gather round. You're going to spend hours, and I mean hours, hunting for that perfect article, that amazing short story, that one textbook chapter that explains it all. And after all that work, you're going to hear a phrase that just stops you in your tracks. This. This is the phrase. And trust me, you're going to hear it a lot. It's the sound of the giant canyon between a student's eyes scanning a page and their brain actually making meaning from those words. This is the core problem we're going to tackle right now. So, why does this happen so often? It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer usually isn't that they're lazy or that the text is just too hard. The real issue, as we're about to see, is often a huge misunderstanding of what reading even is. So let's dig in. To solve this thing, we first have to get on the same page about what we're even talking about. It's time to redefine what real reading looks like, because it's so much more than just saying the words. This breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have decoding. That's just sounding out the words. It's the first step, sure, but a lot of struggling students think that's the whole game. But on the other side, you've got comprehension. Now that is the real goal. It's this messy, active, creative process of building meaning. And here's the kicker. Most students are never actually taught how to do it. To really get a handle on this, let's put a face to the problem. In your future classrooms, you're going to meet all kinds of students, but two particular profiles pop up again and again when it comes to reading struggles. First up, meet Lisa, the resistive reader. Now, Lisa is smart. She can definitely read the words on the page, but she's also learned how to play the game of school really, really well. She knows if she just sits there quietly and looks at the book, eventually you, the teacher, will just tell everyone what it means. She's learned how to get by without ever having to really engage. And then there's Mike, the word caller. Oh, Mike can read aloud beautifully. He can nail words like onomatopoeia or archipelago without even blinking. But if you stop him and ask, "Hey, Mike, what did you just read?" Crickets. He has no clue. For Mike, reading is a performance. It's about pronunciation, not understanding. So if Lisa and Mike represent the struggle, what's the goal? What's actually happening inside the mind of someone who reads a page and just gets it? Well, let's pull back the curtain and look at the secret moves proficient readers are making, a lot of times without even realizing it. This is basically the secret playbook. Good readers are constantly connecting what they're reading to what they already know. They're asking questions, they're making guesses, and this one is absolutely crucial. They notice the exact moment they get confused, and they have fix-up strategies to get back on track. This is the stuff that students like Lisa and Mike were never shown. All right, so how in the world do we teach these invisible skills? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to be a reading specialist. You just need a few powerful, super practical tools. So let's open up the comprehension toolkit. First up, and honestly, this one is a game changer, thinking aloud. This is where you make your own brain visible. You read a passage out loud to your class, and you literally just say what you're thinking as you go. You're showing them the internal monologue of a skilled reader, live and in person. And it's actually pretty simple to do. You just pick a short text, start reading it aloud, and then you pause and you say things like, that last sentence didn't quite make sense to me. I'm going to reread it. Or, ooh, that word reminds me of that other thing we talked about last week. You're literally modeling the exact mental moves we want them to learn. Okay, next tool in the box, marking text. This is all about turning reading from a passive, lean-back activity into an active, lean-in one. Could be with highlighters, sticky notes, or a simple code, like a question mark for confusion and exclamation point for something surprising. It forces them to pay attention to their own thinking. Building on that idea, we have double entry diaries. This gives students a really simple, clear structure to capture their thoughts. It's designed to help them have a direct conversation with the text, which for many students makes a huge difference. And look at how simple this is. You just draw a line down a piece of paper. On the left, the student writes a quote, word for word from the book. And on the right, they just react to it. It could be a question, a connection, a prediction, anything. This reminds me of, or I wonder why. It's a dialogue with the author written down. Now, for more focused practice, we have comprehension constructors. You can think of them as worksheets, but they're not really about getting the right answer. They're about building and practicing one specific thinking muscle at a time. So, for example, a constructor like this one isn't going to ask, what happened in Chapter 3? Instead, it prompts them with things like, what are you still wondering about? Or what connections can you make? It's like you're giving them the sentence starters they need to begin thinking like a proficient reader. When you put all these tools together, something really fundamental starts to shift in your classroom. Reading comprehension stops being this private, mysterious talent that some kids have and others don't. It becomes a visible, collaborative process of making meaning together. I want you to really let this quote sink in because it is so liberating. Here's the deal. You are already an expert reader of the stuff you teach. Your biggest job isn't to be a reading specialist. It's to simply make your own thinking visible. Just show your students how you make sense of the texts you love. And that's really what it all comes down to. When you hand out a reading, you're not just assigning pages. You're teaching a way of thinking. And that is a lesson that will serve them for the rest of their lives, long after they've forgotten the details of any one story. So the real question is, what will you show them?